Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Common English Decoded. I'm so happy you're here with us today.
Hey there! Great to see you all again. We've got a topic today that trips up even really advanced English learners.
Oh, this one is sneaky. Today we're talking about each, every, and all. Three little words that seem like they mean the same thing.
But they don't. And if you've ever paused mid-sentence wondering which one to use, today's episode is going to clear that up for good.
Before we dive in, quick reminder. Hit that subscribe button on Common English Decoded so you never miss an episode like this one.
All right, let's start with a question for you, our listener. Think about this sentence. Blank student in the class passed the exam. Would you say each, every, or all?
Take a second. Say your answer out loud right now. Seriously, pause and say it.
Did you say every? Or maybe all? Honestly, in that sentence, either one could work, and that's exactly why this topic confuses people.
Right, because sometimes these words really are interchangeable. But sometimes swapping them completely changes your meaning or just sounds wrong to a native speaker.
So let's break it down one word at a time, starting with each.
Each is all about individuals. When you use each, you're picturing one person or one thing at a time, separately, one by one.
Think of it like pointing your finger at each item in a line. Each student raised their hand. You're kind of imagining going down the row, this student, then this student, then this student.
That's a great way to picture it. And grammatically, each is always followed by a singular noun and a singular verb. Each student raises, not raise.
Here's a real example. Imagine you're a teacher handing back tests. You might say, I gave each student personal feedback. That really emphasizes that every single person got their own individual attention.
Exactly. Compare that to, I gave every student personal feedback. It's close, but each puts a little more spotlight on the individual experience of every person.
Now here's something interesting. Each can also be used with just two things, which every cannot do.
Ooh, good point. Like, I have two brothers. Each of them lives in a different city. You can't really say every of them. That's just wrong.
Right. Every needs three or more. So if you're only talking about two people or two things, each is your only option.
Let's practice that. Try making a sentence using each about two things you own. Say it out loud right now.
Maybe something like, I have two jackets. Each one is a different color. Did you come up with something similar?
Nice. Now let's move to every. Every also refers to individual members of a group, but the feeling is different. Instead of picturing one by one, every feels more like a general rule or pattern.
That's such a helpful distinction. Each is zoomed in, individual by individual. Every is more like a blanket statement about the whole group, even though it's still grammatically singular.
For example, every store closes at 9 on weekdays. You're not thinking about one specific store. You're making a general statement that applies to all of them equally.
And just like each, every takes a singular verb. Every dog barks, not bark. That trips people up sometimes because your brain wants to add an S because you're thinking about multiple dogs.
Totally get that. Here's a tip. If you're ever unsure, just remember that every and each both act like they're talking about one thing grammatically, even though the meaning includes many things.
Great memory trick. Now, every also loves to team up with time expressions. Think about phrases like every day, every week, every year, every Monday.
Yes, this is such common everyday usage. I go to the gym every morning. She calls her mom every Sunday. You hear this constantly in daily conversation.
Try it yourself right now. Say a sentence about something you do every day. Go ahead, say it out loud.
Something like, I check my phone every 5 minutes, maybe? No judgment if that's true for you too.
Ha! No judgment here. Okay, now here's a fun difference. Every can also combine with numbers to talk about frequency in a pattern, like every other day or every third house.
Oh, that's a great point. I water my plants every other day means I skip a day in between. That's a really natural, native-sounding phrase that a lot of learners don't discover for a while.
Definitely add that one to your notes if you're taking them. Every other is super common in daily English.
Now let's talk about all. This is where things shift a little because all works differently from each and every.
Right. All doesn't focus on individuals at all. It's about the group as a whole, as one big collective unit.
Think of each and every as looking at trees one by one, but all is looking at the entire forest at once.
I love that image. And grammatically, all usually goes with a plural noun and a plural verb. All students are welcome, not is welcome.
That's a big difference from each and every, which stay singular. So already, just from the grammar, you can often tell which word fits.
Let's compare directly. Every student passed the exam versus all students passed the exam. Do these mean the same thing?
Pretty much, yeah. In everyday conversation, they're basically interchangeable there. But every gives a slightly stronger feeling of each individual one, no exceptions, while all just describes the whole group's result.
Here's where it gets trickier, though. All can also be used with uncountable nouns, which each and every absolutely cannot do.
Oh, this is such an important point. You can say all the water is gone, but you could never say each water or every water. That's just not correct English.
Exactly, because water is uncountable. You can't count individual waters. So when you're talking about mass nouns like water, time, money, or information, all is often your best friend.
Let's practice. Try making a sentence using all with an uncountable noun. Maybe about money or time or something like that.
Something like, all my money is gone after that shopping trip? We've all been there.
Ha, definitely relatable. Now here's another really common use of all, talking about a complete category or entire group without individual emphasis. All dogs need exercise.
That's making a general truth about the whole category of dogs, not really thinking about dog A, dog B, dog C individually, the way each dog needs exercise would.
Good catch. So if you want to emphasize the individual experience, go with each. If you want a general truth about the whole group, all or every work well.
Let's do a fun comparison round now. I'll give you 3 sentences and you tell me which word feels most natural, or if more than one works.
Love this. Okay, listeners, get ready to play along and comment your answers below.
Number 1. 3 of my friends came to the party. What sounds most natural? Each, every, or all?
This one's interesting because all of my friends and each of my friends both work grammatically, but they mean different things. All of my friends came is just a fact about the group. Each of my friends came almost sounds like you're emphasizing that individually every single one showed up, maybe even surprising you a bit.
And every wouldn't work well here with of, because we don't usually say every of my friends. That combination just isn't natural in English.
Great catch. So remember, every doesn't pair with of the way each and all do. That's a small but important rule.
Number 2. I clean my room blank week. Each, every, or all?
This is a classic time expression, so every week is by far the most natural. I clean my room every week.
Could you say each week? Actually, yes. And it's not wrong. It just sounds a tiny bit more formal or deliberate, like you're emphasizing the routine happens without fail, week after week.
And all week would mean something completely different, that you're cleaning continuously for the entire week, which probably isn't what you mean.
Ha! That would be exhausting. Great example of how the wrong word choice can totally change your meaning.
Number 3, last one. Underscore, 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 the information was helpful. Each, every, or all.
Since information is uncountable, all is really the only correct choice here. All the information was helpful.
You genuinely cannot say each information or every information. That's a really common mistake for learners whose first language treats these words differently.
Such an important point. If you're not sure whether a noun is countable or uncountable, that's actually a great way to decide between all versus each and every.
Let's talk about common mistakes now, because we know a lot of learners struggle with specific patterns here.
Mistake number 1, using every with uncountable nouns, like saying every advice or every information. Remember, every needs a countable singular noun.
So instead of every advice, you'd say every piece of advice, turning it into something countable. That's a nice trick, actually. Add a counting word like piece of or bit of.
Great tip. Mistake number 2, using each or every with a plural verb, like saying each of the students are happy. It should be is happy because each is grammatically singular.
This one trips up so many people because your brain sees students and wants a plural verb. But grammatically, each and every always stays singular, no matter how many people you're actually talking about.
Mistake number 3, using each for large general groups when all or every would sound more natural, like saying each person in the world wants happiness.
Grammatically, it's not wrong, but it sounds a little odd because you're not really thinking of billions of individuals one by one. All people want happiness or everyone wants happiness sounds much more natural for big general statements.
That's such a helpful nuance. So remember, each works best for smaller, more specific groups where you're really imagining individuals.
Let's talk about one more useful pattern. Every combined with single for emphasis. I checked every single email. This adds extra emphasis, almost like you're saying, no exceptions, I really mean all of them.
That's such a natural, native-sounding phrase. Every single time, every single day, every single person. Try adding single the next time you want to sound more emphatic and natural.
Go ahead and try that right now. Make a sentence with every single about something in your life. Say it out loud.
Maybe, my cat wakes me up every single morning at 6 a.m. Sound familiar to any cat owners out there?
Ha, way too familiar for some of us. Okay, now let's do a quick real-life conversation to hear these words in natural context.
All right, imagine 2 coworkers talking about a meeting. Did everyone show up to the meeting today?
Yeah, actually, each person had something specific to present, so all of us stayed until the very end.
See how naturally those 3 words work together there. Everyone for the general question, each person for the individual presentations, and all of us for the group as a whole.
That's honestly the best way to internalize this. Hearing how native speakers naturally shift between these words depending on what they want to emphasize.
Let's dig into a couple more situations, because there are some specific phrases with these words that come up constantly in daily English, and they're worth knowing well.
Great idea. Let's talk about all combined with time. You'll hear phrases like all day, all night, all year, all week. These mean the entire duration, continuously, without stopping.
Right, so I studied all day means the studying happened continuously, from morning until night, basically non-stop. Completely different from I study every day, which means it happens regularly, but not necessarily for the whole day.
That's such an important contrast. One is about duration, the other is about frequency. Let's practice that difference together.
Okay, try this. Make one sentence with all day and one sentence with every day about the same activity, like drinking coffee or checking your phone.
I'll go first. I drink coffee every day means it's a daily habit. But I drank coffee all day means I basically had a cup in my hand non-stop for hours. Pretty different picture, right?
Totally different energy there. Okay, now let's look at another pattern. All of versus just all. A lot of learners aren't sure when to add of.
Good one. Generally, when all comes before a noun directly, like all students, you don't need of. But when all comes before a pronoun, like them, us, or it, you do need of. All of them pass the test.
And when there's a specific defined group, using the, you can go either way. All the students passed or all of the students passed. Both are completely natural and mean the same thing.
Same pattern actually applies to each. Each of them, each of the students, using of before pronouns or specific defined groups.
But remember what we said earlier. Every doesn't follow this pattern at all. You just can't say every of them. If you want that meaning, you'd switch to every one of them, adding that extra word, one.
Oh, that's such a useful phrase, actually. Every one of them. As in, every one of them showed up on time. It sounds similar to everyone, but it's actually written as two words, and it's emphasizing individuals within the group.
Good point to clarify, because everyone as one word just means all people, while every one of them as three words puts emphasis on each individual member. Small spelling difference, big meaning difference.
Let's try one more comparison round, this time with negative sentences, because these words behave a little differently when you add not or nt.
Ooh, good thinking. Try this sentence. Underscore, 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 students passed the test. But now, imagine some of them failed. How would you express that using these words?
You definitely wouldn't say, every student didn't pass, because that actually sounds like it means no student passed, which is confusing and honestly a common mistake.
Exactly. Not every is what you want here. Not every student passed the test clearly means some passed and some didn't. That's a really important structure to remember.
So, not every equals some, but not all. Very different from no or not any, which would mean zero.
What about with all? Same idea. Not all students passed also means some passed and some didn't. So, not all and not every work pretty similarly in negative sentences.
Good to know they overlap there. Now, what about each in negatives? Honestly, each doesn't get used much in negative sentences at all. It's just not very natural.
True, you'd almost never hear each student didn't pass. Native speakers just don't phrase things that way, so keep each mostly for positive statements about individuals.
Great tip. Let's shift gears and talk about how these words show up in questions, because that's another spot where learners get stuck.
Sure, let's compare. Did each of you bring your ID versus did all of you bring your ID? What's the difference in feeling there?
Each of you sounds like the speaker is checking individually, almost like going down a list, person by person. All of you sounds more like a general check on the whole group at once.
A teacher checking IDs before an exam might actually use each, precisely because they're going to check individually, one student at a time.
Great real-world context there. Now what about every? Could you ask, did every of you bring your ID?
Nope, that's not correct at all. Remember, every just doesn't pair with of. Instead, you'd naturally ask, Did everybody bring their ID? Using everybody instead.
Good reminder that every often transforms into words like everyone, everybody, everything, and everywhere when you want to talk about people, things, or places in general.
That's actually a whole useful little family of words. Everyone for people, everything for things, everywhere for places, all built from every plus another word.
Try making a sentence right now using one of those combined words. Everyone, everything, or everywhere. Say it out loud.
I'll go with, I looked everywhere for my keys this morning. Honestly, a very true story for me most mornings.
Ha, we've all been there searching for keys. Okay, let's wrap up this deep dive with one final, really practical tip for choosing between these words quickly in real conversation.
Love a good quick decision trick. Here it is. Ask yourself 3 questions. First, are you picturing individuals one by one? If yes, lean toward each. Second, are you making a general rule or talking about routine or time? If yes, lean toward every. Third, are you thinking about the whole group as one unit or using an uncountable noun? If yes, all is your best bet.
That's such a clean way to remember it. Individuals one by one, general rule or routine, or whole group as a unit. Keep that little mental checklist handy next time you're unsure.
And honestly, don't stress if you mix them up sometimes. Even advanced learners slip up here occasionally, and in most casual conversations, people will understand you just fine either way.
That's such an important reminder. The goal isn't perfection, it's clear communication, and you're already doing great just by paying attention to these small details.
So let's do a quick recap before we wrap up. Each focuses on individuals, one by one, and works even with just 2 things. Always singular verb.
Every also focuses on individual members, but feels more like a general rule or pattern. Great for routines and time expressions like every day or every other week. Also always singular verb and needs 3 or more things.
And all looks at the group as a whole, works with plural nouns and uncountable nouns, and takes a plural verb when the noun is plural.
Such a helpful breakdown. Comment below and tell us, which of these 3 words do you personally mix up the most? We'd genuinely love to know.
And here's a challenge for you. Today, try to notice these words in real conversations, shows, or articles you come across. Comment and tell us one example you noticed.
We also want to hear your own sentences. Pick one of the 3 words and write a sentence in the comments using it correctly.
One more thing before we go. If this episode helped you understand these tricky little words a bit better, comment each, every, all below so we know this was useful for you.
And of course, if you haven't already, subscribe to Common English Decoded so you can keep building your natural English skills with us every single week.
Remember, don't stress about getting it perfect right away. Just start trying these words out in real sentences, out loud, in your daily life. That's honestly how it sticks.
Exactly. Language learning isn't about memorizing rules perfectly. It's about practicing until it starts to feel natural.
We had so much fun breaking this one down with you today. These 3 little words really do carry a lot of nuance once you start paying attention.
They really do. Thanks so much for spending this time with us and practicing your English along the way.
Don't forget to comment your example sentences, hit subscribe, and share this episode with a friend who might mix up each, every, and all too.
We loved having you here today.
See you next time.